Good evening, YouTube. I know it's been a while since I've put anything up on the Porsche. We've been busy doing work stuff. We got busy. I'm in the real estate business, and things got a little busy with the real estate business the last few weeks, and really haven't had a whole lot of time to work on the car. But I thought I'd give an update and show you what we're up to next. There she is in all her glory, stuck in with the other cars here in the garage. One of the things I've done, I may have shown it in the last video, but got the garage rearranged and wanted to get 3 cars in here, and now I got it. So tonight I am going to work on changing the rear diff fluid and the transmission fluid on the automatic transmission on my 1984 GT 928S. So I've driven it about 140 miles. She's running well, got things all cleaned up. Still haven't gotten my power window motor for the passenger side. That's the only thing left to do on the inside. You see, I got all things like lights working and all that kind of stuff. She's doing well. I had a little problem with the trunk release previously, but got that working now. That was just an adjustment. I may have touched on that before, but all I had to do was raise this up a little bit so it would release here, so the release would push. But now she's doing well. So tonight we will get underneath here, and I don't expect this to be a huge job. A little debauchery on the exhaust. I was thinking about actually changing out the rear of the exhaust, but excuse me, somebody's already done some butchery on that thing. So rear end oil's real easy. I'll do that last. And transmission actually doesn't look too bad. It's pretty cool. They actually put a drain plug in these, unlike a GM transmission where you got to drop the pan and get everything all over you. So we'll drop that union, and then there's 2 10mm bolts on the other side that hold the reservoir on. We'll drop that, get it drained first, drop the pan down. There's 6 bolts that hold that on, and then we'll get up here to the torque converter and get that circled around and get this torque converter drained. And that's kind of the program. So the car's pretty good in shape underneath here. I've done a little bit of cleaning, but not much, mostly with the power washer. But very happy with the way everything looks under here. Again, all pretty tidy. No bad dings or dents or anything under anything. No bad marks where it's hit anything. So pretty cool. So I'll do this on fast pace, so you don't have to sit here and watch me do all this in the next hopefully hour and a half, 2 hours. So here are the tools for the night. I got a Duralast automatic transmission kit from AutoZone for $23. We got automatic transmission fluid, Dexon 4, which is a replacement for Dexon 3, etc. And I've got 75/90 synthetic fluid for the rear differential. And I think this is 10 on mine, but just in case, I bought a 12, 14, 17mm hex head to take care of getting that rear diff fluid done. 2 pans, one for the automatic transmission fluid and one for the gear oil. And then one of my lights is out for my license plate, so I'm going to go ahead and put some LED plates in both of them while I'm sitting here looking up from the bottom of the car. One of them's out, the other one's not, but since we're going to replace one, I'll replace them both. As I go through the car, I've been putting LED lights and everything. So now they've got everything that's a lot brighter and gets rid of that yellow look. But that's the tools of the trade for tonight, and we'll move on here. Alright, so first things first, get this drain plug out. Damn, Sam. I don't think this has been done before on this car. Ooh, shit. Yowza. Yeah, doesn't look too bad, actually. See that pouring out of there? Actually, doesn't look too bad at all. Well, that's a good thing. That's a good place to start. So let that drain. And as that's draining, I will get the reservoir loosened up. Alright, next we will get this reservoir off of here. I'm going to leave it attached here and just disconnect it here, and then there's a breather hose that comes. Let's see if I can follow that through and you can see it. There's a breather hose that comes off the side of this right here and goes into the side of the transmission. So we'll pull that breather hose and I'll leave this connected, and then we'll take this whole reservoir down with the pan and get it cleaned out anyway, so that'll be a good thing. I am confident as tight as that bolt was, this thing has never been changed before, but on the other hand, I kind of not sure I believe it because this fluid is like really good. I was very surprised. So anyway, sitting this long, I wasn't going to leave it. We're draining here, but I just wanted to call out, I've been commenting about how easy this thing is to work on, and the start time on this, I'm a night owl just by the way, but I started on this at about 10:35, 10:40 p.m. So we'll keep an eye on just how long it takes to get both of these done. Just so again, I can point out that owning a 928 is not that difficult. Okay, another little easy peasy thing to do. This goes to the pan, and it's obviously hard welded on there. There's a union there, but I'm going to pull it here, and I think that'll release me from the excuse me, from the reservoir, which will then make dropping this pan out of here easy peasy. So that, 6 more bolts, and that got those out alright. So everything's pretty well ready to go. Drop this out, drop the pan, put a new gasket on it, and we are off and tootling. Hope nobody's wanting to see every little section of this, but I'm having trouble getting, there we go, getting everything on here, but didn't make myself enough room or I would have been a lot better off. Anyway, she's all coming along well. There we go. Let that drain out. There you go. I will still get that reservoir at least out of there enough to clean it with some brake clean. Okay, 15 minutes in, pan is down. Pretty easy. 6 13mm bolts. The drain plug was, I'll find it later. Anyway, I did use my speed wrench because the bolts are kind of long, as you can see there. So I use those. They dropped right out. I'm gonna clean this out with a little bit of brake clean. Kind of clean some things up under here. But filter's held on with 3 Phillips head screws. So that'll go back in here shortly. We'll get this buttoned up, and I did get a pump to pump the fluid back in, so that won't be too bad. Half an hour in, actually not quite that long, 25 minutes in, we are all drained, just letting the last of it run out. Filter goes in right there, it's out, so those 2 holes are there, one for each side, and there's a drain in the bottom of it. And we're going to clean things up, but pretty easy so far, knock on wood, cardboard for now. But now we'll start the, I'm going to clean it up real quick, which will include in this time. Take some brake clean the underneath of it, and just clean things up. Oh. And then we will start putting her back together. There's the old filter. There's the pan. Those are just drips from me getting it out, but I'm going to clean that all up right now. So that'll include that in my time, and we'll keep this going. Okay, everything's cleaned back up. The filter is in. I wiped down all the surfaces. The new gasket is in. They say do not oil these, so I will not. And what's nice about this filter is actually, or this gasket, they actually put a clip in to hold it in place. Okay, now the hard part is done, I think. All cleaned up, all put in, everything's in place. Now we get to find the drain plug, and I am going to hook up my GoPro camera, which has a remote. Gotta find the drain plug right there. So I'm gonna hook up my GoPro and go watch it remotely from my cell phone, so I won't record for a few minutes, and find that drain plug and get the torque converter drained. Oh, that's showing up in there. That's the stupid drain plug, which took me half an hour to find in the torque converter. Now I'm getting ready to fill this thing back up, make sure we have no leaks. I got a using STP multi-purpose Dexron 4, which says replacement for Dexron 3, and I got a pump from Menards, which I hope is going to work. And I'll let you know here in a minute. You don't need to watch me pump this thing up, do you? Okay, so I had a 1 1/8 socket, and as you're at the front of the motor, you got to remember to turn clockwise. So I had a 1 1/8 socket and just a regular 1/2-inch drive, and was able to turn it around, but it took me half an hour using the damn GoPro because I kept thinking I was missing it. But anyway, got that drained, got that done, and I'm gonna go fill this thing up. Okay, I've never done this in this car before, so this is about the 4th time I have filled it up and started it. Excuse me. I was just checking the capacities to make sure I had it right. But this is about the 4th or 5th time I filled it. Keep sucking it up. I've got about 1 1/4 jugs, so I guess a gallon and a bit. It says it holds automatic 1.59 US gallons. 1.59 US gallons, 6 liters. So we'll keep on plugging away at it here. Just putting it in reverse. Let it run for a second, and then we'll put it in forward. Do the same thing again. We should be getting pretty close. I'm on my 2nd jug. Okay, that's the pump I used. Actually, I looked it up. I got it at Menards, not the auto parts store, but that was a good little pump. I don't know how much that holds, but it took a while. But so in the end, I got about 1.2 gallons in there, and I ended up actually letting it run when I was checking the fluid. I actually ended up crawling back under here, and while it was running, pumping it in. As you see now, it's overflow, so it's all backfilled over there. But let it down with the jack stands, and then stuck the light on there under my suspension, and then that hose that you just saw was really long and just didn't have to be level, so that was kind of nice. And pumped about another quart into it while it was running, and then it pretty much ended up dead nuts halfway between min and max. And now, only because I think it's going to be a quick and painless job, I hope I'm not wrong, going to do the rear end, and that is a 17mm plug. I'll pull the top plug first, as you can see there, and that'll get some air in it, and then pull the bottom plug, and hopefully it won't take too long to change that. But this will do it for all the fluids in the car now since I've owned it. And I just looked as I was doing all that with the transmission and everything, and I got 147 miles on it since I got it on March 30th. Well, not that I expected much, but that's the drain plug. Kind of ugly. So let me set this camera down and we'll see how much that uck is really uck. Well, it's sludgy, which definitely means it needed to be changed. I may flush this, actually, because these limited slip diffs don't like that much shit in them. There is no metal shavings. This isn't going to focus. There we go. Just sludge. So that's the good news. We'll let that drain for a little while and see what happens. Okay, the diff is drained. Doesn't look too horrible. I don't know what that foamy crap is in there. I guess just air. I will look at it after I get it all cleaned up and pull this out and kind of stick my fingers through it and see what there is, if anything. But we'll get it refilled. I'm not going to film that. You don't need to see it. But that's going to be it. Wrapping it up. We're putting some Mobil 175/30 synthetic gear lube in there. And hopefully that'll clean and desludge. As cheap and easy as it is. I may do it again here in another couple of weeks after I've driven it for a while. I may drive it to Kansas City this week. I've got a meeting there on Thursday. And get it out on the highway and let it run a little bit. So like I say, this is all the fluids done did. And looking forward to getting out and driving a little bit now. Okay guys. There's everything you need to change the automatic transmission fluid, plus fluids obviously, but automatic transmission fluid and the differential fluid in a 1984 928 Porsche S with automatic transmission fluid. Pretty simple. Rags, jack stands, which are in this picture. More rags, half-inch drive, 17-inch socket, Phillips head screwdriver to get the filter down, 10 millimeter to get the reservoir off the side of the pan, 5 millimeter Allen wrench for the drain plugs, breaker bar for the rear end to put the 17 mil on because I had to break that loose, so that wasn't easy. More rags, cleaner. I used this pump, which that was a great little use. It filled that canister up, which is probably about the better part of a pint in each pump. It didn't like the gear oil as much as it did the automatic transmission fluid, but that's what I used. That's well, that one's full of the excess, or half full of the excess came out of there. Actually, it came out of there. That one's still about half full. And I threw the bottles away, but I used STP 7590 gear oil, and the pump was I don't know. That's the bag for it, but doesn't have the packaging on it. But little $5 pump I got at Menards. Anyway, that is it. So I said that was going to be quick and easy. It was easy. Wasn't so quick. It took me 2.5 hours to do the whole job, and 30 minutes of it was frustration trying to get the torque converter turned around by myself with the GoPro camera and watching it on this camera on my phone. And other than that, it really wasn't too bad a job. I got frustrated with that and took a break and had a beer for a minute, but now she is ready to roll. I have to go out of town on Thursday, 250 miles to Kansas City. If it's not pissing down rain, I will take the pooch. Otherwise, I'll end up having to take my truck. But I was going by myself this trip and not taking anybody with me, so that might be kind of fun to take that out. And if it does break, I got AAA. But I'm pretty confident in it. I've got 147 miles on it since I finished it. Excuse me, since I started it. Let's look here. I think that's what it was. 147. Yep, 147. So I got 62,258 on it since I picked it up. And the only other thing I'm perplexed by, and I haven't driven it that much, but the fuel gauge, I think, is erroneous. I have put, I did top it up because I wanted to see if it was working, so maybe it's working, but I don't think so, so I might have to get a sending unit for that. And I think I mentioned earlier in this video, I am still waiting for the power motor for the window on the right side, but other than that, she's all good. I'm very excited to have this thing done, very excited to have it out, drive it, and hope you're as excited to see it. So what a great car. No different than working on my old Camaros or any other thing that I played with over the years. I've got my 69 Corvette over there. That's my race car, which is dramatically easier because there's no heat, no anything else in it, no power anything other than power steering. But I can tell you, all this grousing I hear on the internet about these being difficult, brake pads are minutes, power window switches minutes and $20, pads $60. I am going to do rotors. Might not need to. The back ones are bothering me a little bit, so if I'm going to do 2, I'm going to do 4. But everything else has been so doggone easy on this thing, and loving the car. And God bless everybody who's got one and talks about them. I am shocked that these don't have a better reputation than what they do. I guess it's just people who have low skills or haven't found a decent shop to get them worked on. But even getting a shop to work on them is, I've got 2 or 3 places that will do stuff to it. Got the air conditioning fixed at a regular air conditioning shop. Got the belt done at Reed Van here in St. Louis, $2,200. That was the only expensive thing on this car, and she's good. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you enjoy the cars, and if you got a 928, get it out and let it romp. Please hit the like button just to your right side of your screen there. Subscribe, and please feel free to comment.